Hello and welcome. Join me as we walk around the amazing Volcano Bay under the Universal Florida banner. Now, current location, we are right outside the bus depot where you get dropped off from all of the different Universal hotels, and then you have to walk through security. That's where the camera cut. Directly after security, which is like a little airport scanner, you then walk through this little bit just here. You walk straight through, and as you'll see, you will walk up the escalator, and then from there, we will then hit the main entrance of Volcano Bay itself. Now, there is another entry in, which is from the Cabana Bay Resort Hotel. That is available in another video. You do have a side entry into the park, which is a private entry in, so you don't have to do this walk and you don't have to sort of mingle with all the other guests from the other hotels, but at the same time you do not see the main entrance from the actual park, so you don't do any of this that we're doing now if you use the opposite entrance. Now, this park is absolutely massive, so like I said, we will have a full walk around. And it is not clickbait. Lightning did stop play and the park did shut early, and this is the video that corrupted all of the other files and destroyed one of my batteries in my camera at the same time, because the rain came down so heavy. It's either that or I stupidly walked through one of the waterfalls and didn't think too much of it at the time. So what we will do is we're going to take a full sort of figure of 8 tour. Now, the plan of this originally is I did a full loop and I was going to catch myself up in the hotel, but what happens is when the rain stops play, the park actually stays open, but the lightning did not go away and they shut the park early. So I managed to get a couple of the rides done, and then when they sort of call all the staff and everything, and you're not allowed to go anywhere near the water, but obviously you're allowed just to have a full loop. So then basically with no guests, we will then do all the other little bits and pieces that I missed, because this place is huge. So we take a good, well, it's half an hour just to sort of get everything covered, and we'll have a look at all the slides and everything, and I will do my best where I can to speak to the camera. Then I thought I'd be clever and do a walk and talk, because the park, obviously, like I said, all the guests were leaving because the lightning strike was in play and nobody knew how long that was going to be in for, and the walk and talk failed. So if I am looking at the camera and my lips are moving, I am still going to be doing the voiceover, because there's no point in me sort of trying to take that bit out. Now, the bit that you've just walked into through where it said Volcano Bay, that is obviously where you go through. That is where you then can get the tickets from the right hand side, or you can just scan your park pass to go in. When you go through, they give you something called a tapu tapu. That is the thing that I've just shown you. It is basically like a wristwatch. Now, that is designed for when you walk around the park, you can get your place in a virtual queue, then it will vibrate and tell you to go to that ride. Then you only have to queue up for like 20 minutes rather than being there for absolutely ever. Now, it is a beautiful park. Obviously you can see what it's based on, and then as we go around we'll have a look at some of the merchandise. But the volcano itself, that is a main drop tower, so there's 3 single rides in that from the top all the way down. It is incredible. So I've done them a couple of times. You lose most of the skin on your back coming down, so it is one of those where it can be a little bit rough and bumpy, but it is also good fun. But I am going to try and catch up myself for a second. Hello and welcome. Today we are walking the beach of Volcano Bay, which is located in the ones around. Obviously there'll have to be a voiceover because there's lots and lots of music and everything in the background, but at the moment it is looking quite quiet. It's just gone 10 o'clock in the morning, so a couple of people are coming in. Managed to get here just at the perfect time. Obviously, being a single rider, I'm not going to be able to do all the rides, but that is absolutely fine. But at least I'll be able to walk around with you, and we'll be able to have a good look at everything together. We can see all the massive slides up in the top right there, and then all of this amazing mountain at the very top is where the drop towers are for the actual water slides as well. I don't think you can film on the single rider lines. I will obviously ask and see if you can, because I have brought all the GoPro attachments with me. But I'll take you for a wander around now and we'll see what we can find, and I'll go into a voiceover and hopefully everything comes through nice and clean. Famous last words. As you can see, that is why I'm having to do a voiceover, because it just was so choppy. I have no idea why it started off like that, but I had to cut a little bit out. So all I was basically saying is that what I've already said at the start, so that's why it sort of jumped a little bit. It dipping down in volume is actually what the camera was doing. I don't understand why it was doing that when it was perfectly fine for the rest of the week, and it's been alright since. So it might be a battery issue. And then the memory card decided to corrupt itself when I get home. So there was something that wasn't happy at the time, but that is the base of one of the water slides from the top of that volcano. So there's 3 of them up there. They are all phenomenal. So if you get a chance to do it, go for it. Just if you're scared of heights, then obviously that is definitely not for you, because you will get a bit petrified as you start walking up the huge amount of stairs. But a lot of people end up getting freaked out, turn around and come back down again. I did see one or two people conquer their fear, and then they were saying to themselves they'll never ever do it again, but at the same time they're happy that they did do it. Now this is the tapu tapu thing, so what you can do is you can just scan those little bits and pieces just there, and then you just literally wait until it calls you. But as we'll see in a second when we'll be reading all the other information, all the bits and pieces that you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do on the rides and so on and so forth, you can just go on everything basically. So you can see there's 209 steps to the top of one of those. It is a big thing. So if you just think how many stairs are in your house, you've got to climb up 209 of them, and they're steep steps as well. And then you just get on, get in, get down, jobs are good. And now on some of the lazy rivers, you can see that you've got all this sort of buoyancy aids just on the right hand side. You have to put those on because you have got a lazy river and then more of like a river rapid style as well, which is a really cool thing where that kicks you around quite quickly, so you can just sort of float, swim, or do what it is you want to do. But like I said, if it didn't come through clearly enough, the park has literally just opened, so I thought I wanted to do this walk before people turned up and it got busy. As it happened, nobody turns up and the park closes, and then there is a proper lightning storm. And as I am later on in the video walking and talking to myself, obviously you're going to be seeing my face and the lips moving, but I'm just going to still be doing the voiceover. I do mention at certain points that the lightning keeps happening when I've got the camera off. But this is another part, this is one of the other rides that you can go on, so you can go on one of those things and just sort of dangle about and just get in there. That's also a good bit of fun. So that is your more lazy river, and the one where you have to put the buoyancy aid on, that is one where it's a little bit more violent, and that goes a lot quicker and it gets you around the park nice and fast. So it is a very large park map. It does take a little while to get your bearings because it's not as simple and straightforward as you think. I took a while to get into the volcano. My sole purpose for this was to get on all of the single rides. I failed that because it closed too early, and I wanted to walk through the actual volcano itself because I did not manage to do that last time, because last time I tried to do that it also shut and they did not allow you to do it, whereas I did it just at the okay time because the lightning hadn't started to happen yet. So different days, different times, but you can see all the stuff are getting their prep talk because not all of the rides had just opened yet. And to be fair, they did end up opening up some of the other rides for the single riders as well. These just a little bit further down I do believe were closed to start with, and I did manage to go on a couple of those as well, so that it didn't take long to get them all fired up in the morning. Now the cool thing is that if you are staying at the Volcano Bay Hotel, the park view room is all of this that you're seeing up from above, so you can actually see the staff turn up, you can see them doing all the test stuff late into the night, you can see people going around all the slides with torches to make sure that everything's all correct. So they do take everything very seriously up this way, so it's really nice. But you can see you've got the baby play area just there, so that's for all of the smaller tots. Nice little slides and all those other little bits and pieces. You can see you've got the orange up on there. We might look at that in greater detail obviously when all the children decide to leave, so there's no way I'm going to be filming any of that obviously for obvious reasons. Now as we come through and come round, we've got all sorts of other little bits and pieces to have a look at. Now as we come up and over, that is a different part of this ride, so you can see just how big this is. We've been walking for a huge amount of time and we're in a different section of the park, and I do like the frogs with the light mouths. Now this is a really nice place to walk around when it's slightly darker, and obviously to get on some of the little bits and pieces as it starts to get a little bit darker. The lights do look very effective as well, but again, didn't have that opportunity. It would have shut too early before it got dark anyway. But like I said, it did shut a good few hours early, and the rain was set in for basically the rest of the day. So as you see some of the other videos that have either already been uploaded or will be uploaded, I end up looking like a drowned rat at certain times, and that is why I had to buy some clothing from Universal, which is one of the first ever times I've ran out of hoodies, of all places to run out of warm clothing in the States, where it should be shorts and t-shirt weather. But it is what it is, so it's all good fun. I'll just remember to pack a few more next time. Now, as you can see, again, just how tall that is for the mountain in the background, the big volcano, but you can also see how the slides come out and loop it round. Now, you've got big rides if I carried on walking in a straight line. I think we'll just have a quick look at some of the information just to see how short the ride times are, because it is just enjoy any time or ride now, so you don't even need to use the tapu tapu. You can literally just get on absolutely everything. The most popular thing, I think, is the aqua coaster. That is amazing. That thing is a really cool thing. Obviously up to 4 of you, but you can do that as a single, and they did just put me by myself, and that's quite a long ride as well. So you go around and you are on like a well, it's an aqua coaster, so it's like a roller coaster on water, and then you just shoot around. And but you can see that you can set up your Tapu Tapu Pay, where you can then just get bits and pieces where it will link it to your accommodation, and then you can pay outright from that, because they do take money out your account as a hold, where you can either buy food from it, and obviously they make sure that the room and everything's all right before you leave, and then they'll just send you the money straight back. But you can see that if you go around, you've got shorter wait times at the back of the park, because obviously a lot of people just tend to come in and go to the rides straight at the start. But if you are clever and you read the signs, you can get to the bits and pieces at the back and the lockers as well. Now, the lockers are a good place to put your bits and pieces. I didn't need to. I didn't have anything valuable on me, so I just had my towel and just had it on that chair, and it was absolutely fine. But you can see how people are starting to already get out some of the water. So that's never a good thing when that water is so empty. People should be jumping in there. And again, the park has not yet been closed due to the rain. So it's not yet started to rain, I don't think. But you can see in the sky that it is on its way. But you can see just how big some of those slides are. Now, I have done every single one of these in the park. So that's the big coaster, the aqua coaster, the big green thing. That is huge. And then from the back of the mountain, you can see the steps all the way up to the top. It's a long way up, and again, you've got different paths up. So if you're thinking of going up to the one and you're the wrong one, you've got to go all the way down to come all the way back up again. But they are cool, and that's the speed of how quickly that thing drops down. Is probably, I would say, my favourite ride here, I would imagine. Some of the others are really good, but because you do have to have a minimum of 2 of you, I can't compare this to the larger group ones. The larger group ones are obviously very good. So if you're going with your partner, or going as a group of friends, then you'll be absolutely living the dream. If you go solo like me, because, well, you've got no choice, then you've got to do what you can do. And it's only a little bit more difficult at the water parks, because if you're unsure, it actually goes by weight. So what they do is that they give you a group of weight. Now, you'll be under the limit and obviously over the limit. And as an individual, you'll be under the limit because you won't have enough weight to get you down. So that is the problem. So that is why they do weigh you. It's just because of safety rather than anything else. And if your group is overweight, they'll just split you up, and then you just go on in 2s or 3 in a 2 or whatever, depending on if it's a 4-person, 5-person ride. Now, these little races are cool. So I think they're the individual slides. So they're the ones where you go up to the top. They're the ones that we saw at the Legoland water park in Dubai, where you got 8 different ones to get on, and then you can just race everybody down to the bottom. So that's good fun. So that's the one where you sit on the little sort of like little mat. So that's quite good for that one. Now, again, you can see from the side angle, there's 3 massive slides coming out of that one. So I can't actually remember how many rides are here, but you could spend a full day walking around and getting on all of the rides if you wanted to. And these are different ones as well, so we yet to see these. And like I said, when we do the opposite half of the figure of 8, we will see some more rides as well that we missed. So this turns into a proper walkthrough. But obviously, if it's different colours, it's more than one ride. And I think those to my left were individual as well, because I think I got on those. So that obviously, the bigger ones, if they're in the much sort of larger chute, and you've got the ones where you sit down as groups, you're not going to be able to do it. But I'm sure some of them that look big were individual slides that you can get on. And it does make a massive difference depending on what one you go down as well. Now, I did notice that with the larger group ones, where you had like the 3 that you could pick and choose to go from, some of them are much quicker than others, but it does clearly state what is perfect for single riders, not for single riders, and things like that. And obviously, if you are a single rider and you do want to try and get on it, what they will do is they'll try and pair you up with another group of 2. So if you don't mind mingling with people that you don't know, then you'll be absolutely fine. So if you have been here before, let us know what you think of it. Let us know what it's like in the summer time as well, because I can imagine this place, when it's peak hot, would be absolutely ramsacked. Now, in the far distance, that beautiful blue building is part of Cabana Bay Hotel. Now, that is one of the bits that we could not film when we did the little walk around tour last time, but that is actually one of the rooms that I stayed in, because that is the newer area that they've added onto Cabana Bay, where it looks over into the park. So that's how I mean that if you wanted a park view room, that is the building that you're going to be staying in, and it looks absolutely stunning. The rooms themselves are fantastic as well, so I will try and link, if I remember, the Cabana Bay Resort Hotel to the end of this video, so you can see just how big this park is. Look how far those slides are in the background as we're walking around. So we keep using it as sort of a part of call. And you can see the ground starting to get a little bit wetter. It is slowly starting to rain a little bit more. And I think within this loop, we will actually get into the mountain, or I say the mountain, I keep saying that, it's the volcano, and we should walk through it and then go underneath everything. And it's a pretty cool experience. So what I will try and do, if the camera picked up the noise, is I will go quiet when we start walking through the volcano, and then hopefully it'll pick up all the sound effects and all the water and everything like that, because it is a really, really nice place, and it gives you some really nice views of the park as well. They are your private hire. So if you didn't want to mingle with everybody else and you just wanted to sort of chill out and get out the way of everybody, you can just sit in those, and they're big rooms. I think they're up to like maybe 12 people. Have to check on the Universal website just for how expensive those things are. But if you've got a large group and you just wanted to sort of relax and it was like a birthday party or something like that, I would imagine you might sort of get some other priority bits and pieces there as well. So that's me just looking at the floor. Far too lazy to take that bit out. It's just because there's a group of people walking around, so I don't want to be filming them in their bathing suits. Obviously harder said than done when you're walking around a water park, but you've got to be respectful when you go round. Now again, you've got different eateries. That might be some of the lockers in the far background just there. Now the lockers are a paid locker, but it's nice and simple to do. And then you have got your little marketplace just there. Now if you have forgotten anything, you can obviously buy some swimwear from here, but I think a bigger place to get it from would be the Cabana Bay Hotel as well. So we did have a good look through that, and they had loads and loads of swimwear in there. So if you forgot everything from goggles, all different sizes, shorts, all different sort of branded stuff. So we're moving on and around. You can see those big slides getting a little bit closer in the background as you've got some more nice little sort of private, not private, but it's just little pockets of seating. So I mean, if you were to explore the park nicely, you can easily find nice sun traps with not many people there, I would imagine, because obviously everybody would go to the main volcano, which we're now directly at the back of. You can see that in the far distance. You can see how dark that cloud is coming in as well. But you can, if you were to walk further on into the park, there will be some nice places to sit down, and obviously these sort of areas aren't too far away from the food either, so you've got to walk quite far into the park. Now what we will be exploring in a second is that actual volcano. It took a while to get round there. I ended up turning the camera off and getting to that bit, I do believe, because I actually ended up getting lost and double back on myself. So what I'll do is when we start walking into the volcano, I will say nothing. The sound is a little bit hit and miss. Obviously you'll have a bit of volume and you won't and you will, but like I said, you know now that there's some sort of fault when I was here, but at least you'll get to experience it yourself. There's no copyrighted music, so that's a good advantage of me doing that as well, and then I'll catch back up with myself when I think I walk through the waterfall, I think. But we'll get there first. So you got, again, those big slides, carry on walking through. We have not yet done this footpath. You kind of go behind yourself to come through. There's I think that might be the lazy river to our right hand side. So both of those sort of rapidy things are rather large, just like those slides as well. So they're really, really good fun. They are the individual ones, so that's a good bit of fun. I think they're the individual ones. Some are individual and some are sort of grouped right beside each other, and then you've got the really, really big ones at the far end of the park. So the really, really big ones are, well, they're easy enough to see. They're the huge ones that we saw right at the very, very start. And I think, again, we'll walk around them and have a good look. The annoying thing is that when I do a walk and talk, I do explain what everything is and what the rides are and what they were like and everything, and I can't hear myself to then remember what was what. But again, it is what it is. But I do think you'll agree that some of these slides are on the large side. So you might not be a theme park fan, but if you're into your water slides and water parks, this is definitely the place for you. This is by far one of the best water parks I've been to so far. Not that I've been to many of them. I've done the Legoland Park in Dubai, which is good. That was a good little bit of fun, and that was just nice to be different, just to sit out in the sun. Obviously, you can imagine lots of little heat traps in there, and they were really nice. You got Landia, that was a good water park. You got something like Centre Parks as well, where they've got some nice slides in. But this sort of has the best of absolute. In fact, this has everything the others do plus more. So obviously they all use the same sort of providers, but as we're walking through and cutting through, you'll start noticing some bits and pieces in the distance of like the bridge that we might have gone over, because you can sort of do big circles and you can end up starting to pick up the signs. So those signs, you've got to be good at reading them, because if you start tripping up and you just happen to take the wrong path by mistake, you could quite easily be going to somewhere completely wrong and completely different. Again, you've got the ride to the right hand side. I think that's the coaster. So if you are looking at the map for whatever reason, where we are now, that is your aqua coaster, and that is something that I got on. I think I did that twice in a row without actually getting off, but that was a good bit of fun, because like I said, there's hardly anybody there, and I'm glad I did that, because what I managed to do, and I will say it, I do believe to the camera as well, is that we do this full walkthrough. And then the plan was to stop and then rain stop play, but luckily I managed to get on some of the little bits and pieces. Now obviously if I didn't do this walkthrough and just got on the rides like a normal person, I would have done all of the rides before the storm shut play. But that's a better understanding of the angle of that aqua coaster, and you can see in the far distance again the hotel room that I would have stayed in from the Cabana Bay. But I will go quiet now for the next couple of minutes so you can soak in the actual volcano itself. And that was that. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I know it wasn't the most cleanest of sounds, but I think you can understand why. It's just such a shame that it was like that for the whole of this video and one or two more that followed, which you're never going to see. But luckily, lots of the others are absolutely fine. So again, that is an absolutely stunning hotel. Stay up nice and high and you can see the actual volcano itself perfectly. Now we've come all the way around and we are back to basically the beginning. So we're going to walk down and we're going to get to where we stopped. Then I'm going to say something along the lines of, now we're going to catch ourselves up in the hotel room, blah, 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 blah. And then 2 seconds later, I look like a drowned rat. The storm has kicked in, and then we'll do the other part of the park that we completely missed, which should have been sort of a walk and talk because there was nobody in the park. Everybody just left. Obviously, they knew on their weather app how long the storm was going to be in for. I had absolutely no idea, but it just kept coming and coming all night. It was like it for the rest of the day. And don't forget, we're probably about, what, 10:30 in the morning, and it did not clear up all day, and then that night was awful. And then the following day was stunning, so it just needed a good clear out and it wasn't too bad. So I am going to catch up with myself now. Again, it might be hit and miss, but we'll see what I've got to say. And just like that, we are back to where we started. Yes, I am soaked. I walked underneath the waterfall. I think, like I probably already said in the voiceover, that is a almost full tour, though I'm sure there'll be other paths and different ways that you could have gone. Let me clean you up. That you could have gone, but it's such an amazing place. Such an amazing place. So I'm going to get on a lot of different bits and pieces. More than likely in the walk round, I've already said how good the rides are, but I know there's quite a lot of things that I can go on. So I'm going to try, sort of do it the wrong way around. I'm going to try and go on all the single, obviously the single tubes. I think you can go on the coaster ones. There's 5 different raft rides. So I think as a single rider, I can do 6 or 7 rides. But you've probably already heard me say how good they were rather than doing it as an end of day thing. I might do a recap when I get back to the hotel room, but that is the plan of attack, depending on how I've decided to do the voiceover. But what I'm going to do now is put you guys away, because I can take you in on the river rapids, which I'll do towards the end of the day, I think, depending on how violent they are. I have got my water case with me, but I've got you on a wrist strap, so I think that might be allowed, but I know I don't think you can do it on any of the other rides. I don't think so. It's a bit of a shame, but at least you've had a full loop tour and you can just see how big this place is, and even without trying to, you can get soaking wet. But it is an absolutely stunning place. I will actually catch up with myself in the hotel room and just go over how good those rides were, because I've got a bit of an idea for the voiceover instead. So guys, I'll catch back up myself in a jiffy. I know I'm going to cut myself off right there because lightning has now stopped play. So it's -10 back at home. We've got lightning warnings and tornado warnings in place now. Is in play. It does mean that we are not allowed to go anything, and my wrist has literally just vibrated. It says all rides are paused due to lightning in the area. We'll notify you when the rides begin again. So what I will do is I'm going to put the waterproof attachment on this GoPro. I know with that I can't actually talk to it, which means I'm going to have to do another voiceover and actually film the bits that I've missed, because I have seen there's another big section in the back, and then we'll catch back up with myself and then again in the hotel room. Right, we're away for round number 2. This was going to be the really interesting bit where I did actually end up taking the surround off and having a chit chat to myself, just to then let you guys and girls in and some bits and pieces of what I thought of the park and things like that. And it doesn't work. So ignore the fact I am talking to the camera. It is not going to sync up. So you can see that we're going to come in and around a slightly different way. And then we will actually do find some different bits and paths that I missed. And the main bit that I cut off was actually getting to the volcano itself. So we do find the bridge. I do say that you should have come from this way to that way. And then when I'm looking and talking to the camera, I think I'm just saying about what the rides are like, what the queue times would have been like if you guys and girls have been here before, and I think how I need to find a surround where I can actually still speak to it. But then obviously without the surround on, it didn't work either. So absolute nightmare and disaster of this. But I think the theming and everything of this whole land is really, really nice. This whole area is really, really smart. Obviously in glorious sunshine, it is spot on. You can see there's some more slides. They're the ones that you can go down as a single rider as well. They're a good bit of fun. Look how dark the sky has got in the background as well, so you could see it was coming in, and it just gets heavier and heavier. I end up getting the bus back, and I think it was actually quicker to walk than get the bus back. But again, it is what it is. And those bus shuttles that we said about at the start, they are super, super easy. You have got loads and loads of different transportation. So, as I can't remember what I was saying when I was walking around the park, at least I can now talk to you as I clean the camera about just how easy it is to get to the different parks. So, if you are staying at the Cabana Bay Hotel, you can see that that is the closest and it has its own private entrance into this facility. But you do not get to experience the Volcano Bay entrance. So, if you want that sort of perfect picture, you're not going to be able to get it unless you can obviously leave to come back in the front of that. So I'm sure you would be able to, because you're going to have your multi-hop park pass ticket, I would imagine, if you are staying there. But obviously ask a member of staff before you do so. Then you've got the Ventura Hotel. This is now me saying to the camera, I've taken the surround off. I'm now just going to do a walk and talk because it's much easier. It saves me doing a voiceover. That couldn't have failed any sooner. Now, carrying on with the other bits of transportation, the only thing about the Cabana Bay, even though it is perfect for this, and I would love to stay there again, just because it was so nice to come here first thing in the morning or later on in the afternoon and the evening. We could easily go for a swim, go back to your hotel room, and this is much quieter. Then you could go into City Walk after. Now, not knowing that the Cabana Bay last time I went actually had its own walkway through sort of like the Universal Gardens, which is a beautiful walk. I keep taking the bus. Now, the downfall of the hotel being so close to here, unless you are willing to walk and you can walk quite quickly, if you get the bus is the same sort of scenario as what you have using the different entrance to here, but the opposite way round. So what happens is that if you do take the entrance, or sorry, if you do take the bus to the other theme parks, you actually go to the main entrance. To come in, you've got to go through the security, which can take some time depending on how many buses have turned up at the same time. Then you have that famous long walkway into City Walk. Now, the City Walk video is available within the playlist. City Walk itself is absolutely stunning. From all of the other hotels, because they are on the other side of the road, you can get the water boat. Now, again, that video is available, so hunt that down if you want to see that transportation. Now, that water boat takes you into the heart of City Walk. Then you can just get off, and then you are basically as close to the entrances from the City Walk as what you are from Cabana Bay Hotel to the water park. So you just have to sum it up which hotel for you in what position is best. And obviously, it comes down to pricing as well. Now, those two things are massive. They were running nicely. I've been on both of those in the past. They are the rides that I could not get on. And I can see that in the volume, I should have been talking to myself there, and it just didn't work. Coming back over that bridge, again, everything is completely empty. Now, what starts to happen is that you start noticing more and more staff walking by us, because they do pull all the staff off. And then when I spoke to the guys and girls at the sort of the ticket entrance, the guy was like, "Yeah, we're just going to shut the park." So they just close the park because there's absolutely no point. I do believe that the Volcano Bay, because of the season that it's in, closes earlier anyway over the two other theme parks, and the other two theme parks did actually happen to stay open. But I do know that the roller coasters will close for a short period of time when there is lightning in the area. But obviously, people tend to stay there a little bit more because you have got all of the main end of shows as well. So you've got the really nice light show from the Islands of Adventure, and then you've got the other really nice show as well from Universal Studios. So I am probably saying something really, really important, or asking for your advice of what you think of everything with regards to what those slides are and what they do. And I can't hear myself. I don't know what I'm saying. So slightly frustrating, slightly annoying. But we've got a couple more minutes of looking at maps, and we are obviously doing the other bits and pieces that we couldn't see. But look at the size of that map and just the amount of different bits and pieces there are to do. So you can see that the volcano is the heart of everything, and then you can see that I'm going on about some sort of nonsense about how you can walk around and do the different bits and pieces. I think that's how you can walk in from where we've just come. We've come into that bit, we've done the back, and then we've snaked it around. So we did the one side of the park, I think, at the first half of the video, and then we just went behind the volcano and did the other half. I think that's what I was trying to get at, because you end up doing a big loop, and then you've sort of got to come back down, hit the little mini roundabout, and then cut across the other side of the park. So there is a lot to do and a lot to see. But again, food, drink is really, really easy to get the bits and pieces. The shop that we walked through, again, nice and simple. But with all the big restaurants, you can see, talking of food, to the right-hand side where the big blue things are, you can just sit in there if there's sort of big stormy showers. It's not going to be every single day that they do close they do close the park down fully for lightning strikes. Now, again, because I had a multi-hop park pass ticket, it meant that I, for 14 days, could go to any park as much as I wanted. So I could have literally left here and gone to another theme park. It's not a problem whatsoever. Now, I don't know what happens if you are there at the time that I was there and the lightning closes play and they do decide to shut the park early, if you can sort of get given a different ticket or what. I'm not too sure how much the weather affects play with regards to being, if you get reimbursed or if it's just, it's Mother Nature and it is what it is. But I guess at the same time, you can sort of kind of see it coming with regards to the forecast. So if you are a local, you're not just going to be paying for a 1 day ticket anyway. And if you're staying at the hotels, it really does not matter that it's raining. So like I said, I got the bus back soaking and dripping wet, got in the shower, dried the clothes, got on my last dry hoodie, went back into the park, and then I think I was really stupid and got on the log flume, got absolutely drenched on that. And then the following day I needed more clothes. So that was as easy as could be. But you can easily, again, just walk yourself around and there is some plenty of photo opportunities. That volcano does look very, very impressive. But we are slowly starting to run out of time as we're just paying a bit more attention to all the different eateries. So if you have found this video useful, obviously let us know in the comments below. But if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel as well, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Now, normally these kind of videos are linked to a Legoland trip because this is sort of a Lego channel as well as all the other theme parks as well. But there is a sole playlist for lots of other theme parks dotted around the world where I have split it up. So if you've got no interest in the Lego side of stuff, but you are interested in all Universal and Disney, there are multiple videos available and they will keep coming for the foreseeable future. Not just from Florida either. So keep your eyes peeled from the other Universal parks around the world. I've got some big plans coming. Unless you're watching this from the future, then hunt them down as well because they'll already be there. Now, again, going back to what we said at the start, there's your premium seating tents. That is an eatery to the right-hand side, the premium tent to the left-hand side. And I think you've got other different types of things you can sit on as well. And then you've got other little areas like that where you can sit on. And again, it's just as a good idea to get yourself through. But you can see how dry I am looking currently, and it just gets heavier and heavier and heavier. It is a bit miserable. You can look at the ground, you can see just how heavy it is. I'm sure I do go back out in it when it's raining and I put my waterproof jacket on and just sort of go for it, because we do hunt down some of the other hotels and just how easy it is to get about. So hunt those videos down as well. So what I've tried to do within the Disney Orlando playlist is obviously you've got your full park tour, split the lands up a little bit for those guys and girls that want to see different bits and pieces in the land, but then obviously you've got the main shops, and then you've just got how to get around, what the hotels are like, and obviously the big one would be the Universal sort of city walk and the Universal Gardens, where it sort of connects all of the hotels together and it links both parks together as well. So those videos, if you just want to know how easy it is to get about to all three theme parks and all of the other hotels, then they are the videos to look for. But guys, that is it. I am done. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Again, hope you found it useful. Comments below if you stayed here in any of the hotels. What's your favorite hotel? What is your favorite park out of the three? And if you are watching this from the future and the fourth park's opened up, let me know what that's like and is it worth me coming down. But guys, as always, again, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care and hope to catch you next one. Ta-da.